everybody, welcome to Wallboy Movies, the place to talk movies, and today we're going to be reviewing Deadpool, the 2016 superhero movie based off the Deadpool comics. Right now I'm going to have some information up on screen like director, runtime, and PA rating. All of that will be up on screen for you to read right now. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below your thoughts on Deadpool. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the pros. Starting off, I gotta praise its R rating because this movie is R rated, and people say that Deadpool is an R rated character, and they do that very well with this movie with a lot of violence in it, lots of profanity, and lots of adult content that I will not elaborate on. But yeah, the R rating definitely made the movie more entertaining, but it wasn't just the R rating that made this movie good. It was the perfect balance between humor and serious tones, because Deadpool in the comics is a jokey character. He makes a whole bunch of jokes. And you do get a whole bunch of jokes in this movie, which I will talk about later. But this movie also has some serious subject matter in it, like cancer diagnosis. And I think the movie handles both sides perfectly well, and perfectly meshes them together to where you could have your fun comedic moments while also having your dark serious moments. Props off to the Deadpool team for managing to perfectly balance both types of tones into this movie. I also gotta applaud this movie for subverting the superhero origin story formula, because this movie jumps right into Deadpool after he has gotten his powers, and throughout the course of the movie, through flashbacks, we see Wade Wilson's origin to becoming Deadpool, and that was handled really well done, that it makes it unique between other superhero origin movies like Iron Man, Captain America, Batman, or Superman. I also gotta go ahead and praise the cast for this movie because they all do a great job. TJ Miller, who I know has some controversial stuff on him, did a good job as this sort of comedic relief. Kieran Sony, who was also Indian Spider-Man from Across the Spider-Verse, did a great job as Dopender, which was an original character for the movie. Stefan Kapech as Colossus really did a good job, and I really liked that version of the Colossus character. Morena Baccarin also did a great job as Vanessa, aka Wade Wilson's girlfriend, and being a vital character to Deadpool's life. And speaking of Deadpool, the best actor to come from this movie is Ryan Reynolds. He is generally one of my favorite actors in Hollywood right now, and he plays the role of Deadpool to perfection, which makes me glad that Marvel Studios decided not to recast Deadpool for the upcoming Deadpool and Wolverine movie. The way Deadpool makes his jokes in the movie comes off very well done because of Ryan Reynolds' comedic genius. I also gotta praise the practical effects for Ryan Reynolds, because when Wade Wilson has this disfigured scarred face, it is completely practical effects, and it looks so good in the movie. I also really like the post-credit scene of this movie because this one made fun of the very first post-credit scene in cinema history, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where it was kind of Deadpool adjusting hey, why are you still at the theater? Oh wait, you wanting to see what we have in store for the second movie. That is completely genius, because ever since the days of the MCU, a lot of people have been staying after the credits for a possible post-credit scene, me included. And this post-credit scene definitely goes down as definitely a top 10 post-credit scene of all time. I forgot to add this when I was recording the video, but I also thought that Wade Wilson and Vanessa's relationship was handled so well in this movie. Like, this has to be the most well done chemistry in a comic book movie. And lastly, I gotta talk about the humor in this movie because there are a lot of funny moments in this movie, and that's pretty obvious knowing the Deadpool character. But there are genuinely a lot of funny moments in the movie. Just to tell you some of my favorites, when Deadpool is going after Francis's goons, he tries to kill one of them with a Zamboni, and it's just like the funniest thing I've seen in the movie. And even when Deadpool is on the bridge, breaking the fourth wall on how this movie got made because of Wolverine, or particularly the funniest scene of the movie, Wade Wilson Deadpool versus Colossus, where it's just bickering back and forth to ultimately a fight, to which Deadpool breaks his hands and a leg, and then proceeds to cut his hand off, give Colossus the middle finger, and escaping back to his home where he lives with Blind Al. Like, that scene was genuinely like the funniest part of the movie, and no other scene rivaled that for this movie other than that Zamboni scene, because that one was actually pretty hilarious. So yeah, there are a lot of things that were successful with this Deadpool movie and definitely made it one of like the best superhero movies we've ever gotten, but there are still like some issues I have with the movie, leading me to the cons. Now, the cons are not really like that big. I really only have like two, but there's still things that I want to bring up. Firstly, the character of Ajax, aka Francis. I kind of felt like that he was sort of like a weak villain in this movie. Don't get me wrong, he was a fine villain to start off this Deadpool franchise. And the guy who played Francis did a great job as the character. I don't know how to feel about him. Like, sure, he did have like some cool sequences in the movie, but I also kind of don't like the explanation on how like he is attached to like the Deadpool character after he becomes Deadpool. Like, he's going down the highway and Deadpool intercepts him. Like, it kind of could have been done better. And the biggest con I can give this movie is its nudity. Now, I'm not going to elaborate on this because I do not want an age restriction on this video, but quite frankly, I do not find that stuff necessary in films. Like, I just find it to be completely unnecessary. Like, why do we need to see that in the movie? Like, it really serves no story point to the movie. Why include it? Like, I don't get why some of these R-rated movies have the urge to show that stuff in the movie when I feel like it's completely unnecessary. But other than that, I still really like this movie, and I thought of it as like one of the best superhero movies to come out like in the last decade. And it was definitely a huge success because it grossed over $700 million on an R rating, which definitely was a huge win for this movie. So for my scorecard, I'm gonna give Deadpool 4 stars. Out of 10 score, I'm gonna give it an 8.8 out of 10. Percentage, I'm gonna give it an 88% with a grade of B+. With my final verdict being an awesome superhero flick. But that was my review for Deadpool. I want to hear from you guys. What did you think of the 2016 Deadpool movie? And while you're at it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and keep an eye out for my review of Deadpool 2 coming very soon to the channel. But until then, have a great day.